All right, it's recording. All right. So titiksha is forbearance, but again, it's not a suppression. That's easy to do. Titiksha is the outcome of a certain wisdom. And what is that wisdom? No matter how difficult the situation that I'm confronting is, this is not the thing that I really want. This is not what I really want to affect. This is not what I really want to, this is not a battle that I want to fight. So, what is it that you want? And the answer is always the same. In fact, one can memorize it. Self knowledge, Atma Jnanam. You tell yourself this. Oh, but I don't mean it. Doesn't matter. You tell yourself it because it is the truth. you just you just tell yourself that. This is not worth it because I want Atma Jnanam. No, 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 it's a lie. I really want this more than Atma Jnanam. No, that's a lie. This is what you really want. You tell yourself that and you memorize the answer. Only two words, Atma Jnanam. Actually, in Sanskrit, it's one word, Atma Jnanam. Atmano Jnanam, Atma Jnanam. So it is just, that's all I want. And so it somehow acts like, in the Buddhist, in the Sangha, they have this bell. And periodically, when you go to a Buddhist retreat, they keep ringing this bell. And I said, what is, why are they keeping ringing this bell? Especially if they're not feeding me, why are they ringing the bell? Because, in our ashram in Coimbatore, where I studied, there would be bell for tea break, there would be bell for lunch break, there would be bell for dinner. And so like the dog, I associated bell with food. And here I was at a Buddhist ashram for an interfaith event about 10 years back. And there they were just ringing the bell every now and then. And then, after I found out that there is no food at all whenever the bell rings, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to come back to yourself. This is an invitation to inhabit yourself. Very beautiful. And so titiksha is like that bell. So when there are difficulties, you put up with it not because you're a weakling or you're a wimp or you are a loser. No. You put up with it because your sights are set elsewhere and this does not matter. In fact, this is going to prepare this situation. Overcoming the reactivity to this situation is going to help you grow to imbibe the teachings. So it is not some kind of a martyrdom or a stoicism. It's just the remembrance. It's the smaranam of what is it that, what is it that is, what is it that is very important? What is it that is needed? What is it that is wanting here? So that is that. And yes, welcome to Raghu. Please join us. Very nice that you are here. And where are you? Where are you from? Where are you joining from?
Namaste, Swaminiji. I am from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania.
Sorry?
King of Prussia, KOP, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Okay, wonderful. Welcome.
I live near to the Salisbury Ashram, about 100 miles.
Very nice. Welcome. So then the last thing is this, is when one is being reactive to a situation, especially with a person, is to have what is called pratipaksha bhava, to put the ability to put oneself in the other person's shoes and to see that they have a background. You don't need to know what their background is. It could be anything. You're not interested in their background, but it's enough to know that they have a background, just like you have a background. Just the immediate recognition of the fact that the other person has a background makes you immediately non-reactive immediately, because now you are not a reactor, you are a responder. You take a step back and you're and you say, oh, this person has a background, we don't know what that background is, and for them to react to me this way, this is what is happening. And so just the mere acknowledgement of the fact that they have a particular background makes me more of a responder than somebody who is reactive. So these are the ways to progress in the study of Vedanta. This is, what is, people love this part of the Vedanta in daily life, Vedanta, how to practice Vedanta, all this. This is where all it comes under. Okay. Now that we have started recording, there should be one more question at least.
Swaminiji,
Yes.
could you speak of Nididhyasana as an action?
No. I mean, did you have part B for that question?
Well, it's often defined as meditation, but it seems like it's more than what people generally think of as meditation in, let's say, a Buddhist tradition or just a typical Western meditation tradition. So I'm just curious about how you would see the distinction between what's.
Yeah. So meditation is dhyana, and that has a specific definition. Saguna Brahma Vishaye Manasa Vyaparaha. This is dhyana. So Sagunam Brahma is Bhagavan, Ishvara. Ishvara means Bhagavan, that is, so Saguna Brahma Vishaye, centered on Ishvara, Manasa Vyapara, mental activity. Mental activity for which the subject matter is Ishvara. That's why the whole definition is important. If it is just mental activity, it could be chinta also, some kind of worry, everyday worry. So, but that is not dhyana. And then, so therefore, it got a specific definition. So, like when you say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya, that is Saguna Brahma Dhyana. This is what is called Dhyanam, from Dhyai, to meditate. And then Nididhyasanam is also a form of dhyanam because the root verb is the same. It is from dhyai only. But then it is, what is that? It has got a different meaning in the tradition itself. It means, of course, the English word is contemplation. And here we are in a little bit of a quandary because is it an action? I mean, it's very easy to say, no, it is not an action because it is one's nature. But then, how to contemplate? And unless one is contemplative, then one cannot contemplate. And unless one contemplates, one cannot become contemplative. So there is a catch something, 22. There is a catch 22 here, a very big catch 22, because how to resolve this little impasse that is there. So, the one is naturally contemplative, but that is eclipsed by the raga dveshas, by the exigencies of everyday living, and by, of course, atma ajnana, self-ignorance. So, in order to activate that contemplative person within oneself, we practice we cultivate certain amounts of contemplation. So we pretend that it's an action. So in the beginning, we just sort of say, okay, I'm sitting down to do some contemplation. But then it naturally becomes that because, what is contemplation is, it is a regurgitation of the knowledge that one already knows. The words of the Upanishad and the words of the secondary works of Vedanta, like the famous Yatra Yatra Mano Yati, Tatra Tatra Samadhayah. This is what this is wherever the mind goes, there one has an immersive experience. So this is all there. And so it's there in the works like Drik Drishya Viveka and other contemplative works, Advaita Makaranda. and Upanishads, of course, in the primary Shruti. So these words are taken, Purnoham, Asangoham, Dhanyoham. These words we know the meaning of. I am Asangaha, I am uninvolved, I am Purna, I am complete, I am limitless. Anantoham, I am limitless. All these things. Satchidananda Swarupoham, I am the nature of Satchidananda. These things are brought to mind. It's not that new knowledge is created. It is to ward off habitual patterned behavior. The patterned behavior that persists despite the knowledge, because it's a bad habit. So, to rid ourselves of bad habits, we contemplate. And then again, I will conclude with and then the more one contemplates, the more contemplative one becomes. And I'll conclude with what a very helpful thing Adi Shankara says in the Bhashya for the Kathopanishad. What does he say? He says, Sagunam chet dhyayeta. So if we are talking about Sagunam Brahma, it is an object of meditation. Nirgunaschet, if it is not, if it is free of attributes, like the Atma is free of attributes, you don't say you're meditating upon the Atma because it's not an object, it is you. Then you say Nirgunaschet Jnayeta, he says, may one know. And one already knows because one has done, I mean, this is in the case of one who has done sufficient Shravanam. And then after doing sufficient Shravanam, what happens is that one is able to just bring back whatever one knows and then, talk about that. That is what one is able to do. So that is the difference that I see between Nididhyasana, what we just talked about, and meditation. Meditation is the mind goes and then you bring it back. The mind goes and then you bring it back. And in fact, once Nididhyasana starts, the mind, wherever the mind goes, one sees oneself. That is what it says here in this famous line from the Drigdrishya Viveka. Yatra yatra mano yati, tatra tatra samadhayah. When the Atma is known, that is what happens. And then we practice in small bits, little bit of contemplation, and then then we can then what happens is that the desire to contemplate more and more grows. It grows on, and so then it becomes one's own nature. Hope that addressed your question.
Thank you very much.
And here is one
That
question.
was wonderful.
Here is one.
How many?
Here is one question sent via chat. Pratipaksha Bhavana, if we recognize the bad emotion of others and change our reaction, response to Maunam, yeah, anything like that. Yeah. What is Atmanishtha? Is it the end result of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana? I love how people have started to talk about it as SMN. Very nice. So there were a few questions in the satsang in the ashram also, and they kept saying, "Please describe SMN." And so yeah, so yes, Nishtha is a Sanskrit word which means Nitaram Sthitihi. That shtha at the end is actually stha. So stha means to stay, to abide. To abide when? Always. In what? In the truth of yourself, Atma. So that is Atmanishtha. And yes, it is the end result of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Technically, we say Shravanam is the only one that produces, that removes ignorance and allows the knowledge of the self to abide, allows the knowledge of the self to come to the fore, which was previously eclipsed by Atma Ajnanam, allows the knowledge of the self to shine. And so that is Shravanam, that itself is the Mukhya sadhana for knowledge. But then, because everybody is not like the Nachiketa and others in the Upanishad, Uttama Adhikari, most of the people are what are called Madhyama Adhikaris. And so what do? We also, we also advocate that if needed, the doubts need to be dispelled. And then again, if needed, the habitual orientations must be banished. And then what happens is that the ability to stay with the knowledge is called nishtha. Yeah.
So,
Already know a lot. That is good. Yeah.
actually, because Atma means Swarupam, right? Sat, Chit, Ananta, Swarupam,
Yes.
Anantam.
Yes. It is
So
Satchidananda.
that
Correct.
is the main
You are right.
concept of knowledge.
Yes.
So, like staying in that state
Yes.
or
Yes.
Swarupam, that is the
Yes.
Nishtha, Atma Nishtha.
Mhm. That is Nishtha.
So
Knowing
when
that
we
one is Atma is the Nishtha. Knowing that one is not just the assemblage of this body, mind, sense complex, one is in fact the indweller of this, and that consciousness which indwells, as it were, this body, mind complex is the truth of the whole universe, is the source of the whole universe, is non separate from Ishvara. Knowing that is called Atmanishtha, Atmajnana. Okay, done. Anything else?
like one more thing, Swamiji.
Yeah.
For example, like we all know that our Swarupam is Sat Chit Ananda.
Yes.
So that is, as you mentioned, but now it is above the body mind sense complex.
I lost
So
you there. I lost you there.
body
We
body mind sense complex.
uh-huh. Okay.
So that is above that.
I lost you
The
there because I heard you as far as it went. And we all know we are Satchidananda. Then after that, what you said, I could not hear properly. There was some because of the internet, I think. Yes. Tell me.
that state is above the body mind sense.
Yeah. What
That's
about
what.
the body? Is that what you're asking?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that also is Satchidananda. What else can it be? Yeah. If we are saying there's only one thing and that is Satchidananda, body is Satchidananda. You know? Body is
But
Satchidananda, mind is Satchidananda, everything is Satchidananda. Satchidananda is not just the body, it's not just the mind because it is everything. If
in
it is
Tattvabodha, we
everything,
read
it cannot be any one thing. That is what we have to remember. If Brahman is everything, it cannot be any one thing. Everything is Brahman, but for Brahman to be all, it cannot be any one thing. That is where sometimes we have to be vigilant to not make the mistake of thinking, seeing that it goes both ways. It does not. Everything is Brahman. Brahman is not any one thing. Yeah. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Let us meet tomorrow at the same time for the Taittiriya Bhashya class. And then can somebody volunteer to be present for the, what's its name, the Bodhasara class and tell people that it will not be there? Who can do that?
I can do
I
that.
can do that.
Swamiji.
Yeah,
We can do
yeah. Janani and Arpan, please take care of that. Please log in and then be there for 5-10 minutes and then to let people know, okay? All the best. Om Tat Sat.
Maybe,
oh, that's it.
Om Om. Nice to see all of you and to be with all of you.
we see
Om.
this. Thank you. Thank you.